because all of a sudden, before Uber came around, you know, all you saw was town cars, town cars everywhere, town cars. And then it was and if it wasn't the yellow cabs used to be the Caprice. That's so you had the
Right.
town car and the Caprice, and then all of a sudden, the town car just like went out. You started seeing what came first? Yeah,
Ford Tauruses
yeah,
and
and then the Camrys. I mean, when Uber came, everybody had a Camry.
uh-huh.
Now it's like if you see somebody with a town car now, you're looking at them like, why, dude? Why are you driving a
No, but
town
see,
car?
the thing about it is people think, oh yeah, well, like Toyota's more reliable, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it may be reliable if you're using it as a regular car, and it may be reliable if you're using it long term.
Right.
But if you're using it for a car service, you're putting a whole different type of damage on that car.
I beat that car.
Like this one right here. What's that? That's a Camry, right? So the thing about it is, yeah.
I'm telling you, the main thing with that car is after a while, your shocks and your springs, he's gonna go through that car.
Oh yeah,
it lowers down. And when you go and you take it to the dealer, they're like, oh, they're telling you, oh, it's just. I had the dealer tell me, he was like, oh, I said, yo, I feel like I'm driving a low rider now, man. I said,
yeah.
He's like, oh no, it's your perception. You're driving with the seat too low.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, come on, man. I was like, yo, this car does not drive. He's like, oh, but you gotta understand, you got 100,000 miles on the car. I said, so the car only lasts 100,000 miles?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I asked him. He's like, no, but then that's when he came into but you're not using it like the regular person is using it. I said, this is why I bought the car. Y'all told me that, that it was. I was like, you know what, man? Nah, so
if you're in New York City, you gotta have an SUV. You gotta have thick tires for that SUV. Because I'm looking at these roads right now. These roads are horrible.
Yeah, look at this.
And
this is what I'm talking about.
now,
if
when
me and you was in that Camry, guarantee you would have been bumping your head.
Shit.
Boom, boom. You would have been, and as I would have been hitting the bumps, you would have been hearing them. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
That car used to have. It used to make so many. It used to hit bumps, and it'll take the bumps, but believe me, you hearing it inside.
Oh yeah,
you hearing it.
And you know what? That's another. But that's another issue. In Japan, the roads are nowhere near this bad. Like if you're in Japan, you've got fewer people with cars.
Right.
You got fewer heavy trucks.
Right.
You don't have the level of frost wedging in the ground, so you don't have the same damage on the floors, on the ground. Right. So the thing about it is, like, especially with even these German cars, in Germany, the roads are not this bad. So the thing about it is, when they come here and they try to wear those same tires, they try to ride those same cars, man, they destroy those cars.
Yeah.
The bottom of your car gets ripped up. I've had to replace the bottom of my cars. Now, my Jeep I love because my Jeep handles this garbage. Like, I mean, right now, look at this road.
Yeah.
Look at this road. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And they wonder why you go across this road 5-6 times a day. Come out, you're gonna have some issues with your car. I don't care. And this and they I'm like, yo, where do you get? You always in a car dealer, you know what I mean? In a car shop, and with that Camry, I'm like, I bought the car. It had it had about 6,000-7,000 miles on it. And the guy told me, he's like, oh, I saw everybody driving the Camrys. I said, okay, you know what? Let me. I start asking people about the Camry. He's like, yeah. They can take the beating. It's an industry standard car right now.
Yeah, if you don't own a shitty car.
Exactly. And
that was a rough ride.
I gotta tell you, 2-3 months after I bought the car, I started becoming unhappy with it. I didn't like the way it was making the noise. I didn't like my acceleration when I got on the parkway. I didn't like, I was just unhappy with it. And then once I test drove this one, I was like, yo, this got a little, like, it's more. Once I sat in the seat is what sold me, because the seat and then I didn't have to be driving like this all day long. I was like, okay, that's what I need. Or, and I could adjust it.
Yeah.
That Camry, man, I'm telling you, my head was like this all day long.
Yeah.
And if you put the seat back, you can't see, because now you got to be all the way back just to make your head straight. I'm like, yo, this car is hot.
No, certain cars are good for certain things, but as far as car servicing goes, gotta have SUVs. Yep. Gotta have SUV, especially in New York. You gotta have SUV. Because, springs and shocks, that's coming from the fact you're carrying people and all this stuff with them, and you're doing it repeatedly over and over to destroy those springs.
Yes, it does.
It's going to destroy it.
And I'm telling the well, the owner of the 411s, he's supposed to be getting in a bunch of he said he is it the Honda CRX? I know he said.
Okay, so yeah, he's using Honda SUVs.
Yeah, he's gonna go with the Honda CRX, and he asked me was I interested. I said, I'll try
say
it,
no. Just say no. Say give me a Jeep. Give me a Jeep. A Grand. No. You know what? Instead of the Jeep, the Chrysler Pacifica. Chrysler Pacifica, the new Chrysler Pacifica, it's got a huge inside. Like, I don't know how many people you carry on the regular, but if you want to go back and forth from the airports and you need the space in the back for you gotta check out the Chrysler Pacifica, and definitely check out the Tesla model. Either one of them, the S or the X. You got to check that out. See, the only thing that a lot of people don't like is the fact that there's no gas. So the problem is they can't just go to a gas station. The thing about it is it makes up for that in that you go to a charging station and now you have a break for an hour. So for car service, it makes a little bit more sense.
That an hour means the difference between you driving 1 more hour or you driving 5 more hours. In between that, you can go.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't care what driver you are. If you driving car service or you driving limo service, wherever there's a time where
you just tired.
That fatigue kicks in.
Yeah.
I don't care. You take all the 5-hour energies, coffee, some of them other things some guys take, but you're gonna be tired. Listen, this thing is where I come out and I'll work maybe 4 or 5 hours and go home, rest, relax, and wake up the next day and felt like I worked 15 hours a day before.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, man. Yeah. Like, it's only Wednesday.
Yeah, because those things basically get like 80 to 100 miles per gallon, basically, the equivalent, because they don't really use gas. So because you figure, like, when you usually stop, some of these cars have a start and stop button.
Yeah.
But those things don't need it because there's no engine. So basically, when you stop, it just stops.
And the whole engine just
there's no engine.
So like if we're sitting right now, it would not be burning.
You see how if you're quiet, you can hear the engine running. Yeah. There's no engine to run. So it's just electric motors. And the thing is dead silent when it's not moving. It's dead silent.
Put your foot on the gas.
Yeah. Dead silent. And there's no engine to stop. So when you're idling, it's running down your gas.
Yeah, of course.
But the problem is there's no gas. So it's there's no engine, there's no gas. You gotta check the Tesla out.
And
you gotta check
Tesla dealership?
There's one I don't know how close you go to Brooklyn, but what is it called? You have Google Maps on your thing, I'm sure.
Google.
You just type in Tesla dealership, and there's one in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And then there's one out here in it's called the Manhasset Americana. It would probably be easier for you to go to the Brooklyn one.
Okay.
Because the Brooklyn one's near the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh, okay.
So it'd probably be easier for you to get to that. Yeah. Because the Syosset, unless you're going out to Long Island, like Syosset's going all the way back down
in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I stayed out there especially on the weekends by the bridges.
Yeah. But you got, and it's not perfect for everybody because when they show you the pricing and everything.
Right.
But you might like it enough to say, yeah, I'm going to take my chance.
I would talk to the owner into buying because
you should. Yeah.
I always get him. This how I got this car. I got him to get these cars, and he went with the Now he does have Taurus.
The only way to sell them is to show them that you don't use gas. It's not